Hey everyone, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and today I am here with another inspired sewing project for you. We are going to be making a wallet that has a couple different options for you. I'm going to duplicate this one and then attach the two so you can have like a dual compartment wallet. But as you can see, this one certainly stands alone and you could just stop with one. It has 6 card slips in there, plenty of room for the phone, like some lip gloss, maybe your keys. And this particular wallet is called the All Aboard wallet, and it matches the All Aboard bag, which is a brand new design. It has a side zipper access there, the front pocket, and then the adjustable crossbody strap there. And I used a marine vinyl for the base there and the top. And this is the project that I am going to be teaching in my upcoming masterclass AMC, and that's the 8th session of my masterclass. The masterclass is something that I offer exclusively to Sewspire patrons. So if you would like to join us, that begins on Thursday. And I will put the link to the Sewspire Patreon page down below. I'd love to have you. We have a beautiful group of women. We will meet every Thursday for 4 weeks, and I will show you step by step how to assemble that wonderful bag and then encourage you along the way to customize it to suit your needs perfectly. So today, as promised, we're going to make the little coordinating wallet that goes with the All Aboard bag. I am going to give you the pattern measurements as we craft this. And in addition to that, I will have a design board, which is a PDF document that you can purchase for a nominal fee, and that includes all of the pattern measurements and concise written instructions, and then just a few photos so you can print, save, download that document. And I have recently set up an Etsy shop for those patterns, so now you can get them on instant download and you don't have to wait for me to check email and send that to you. So that link will also be down below for you. And my goal for 2021 is to create a new design board for every project that we make. So let's get started making this darling wallet. So for the exterior, you are going to need the 2 panels, which are 5 by 8. And I backed mine with a Decoville light. If you want to make the dual compartments, you're going to have to double that, obviously. So I have a front and a rear. And then my base is 2 by 8, also backed in the Decoville light. And then I have 2 side panels, which are 2 by 5, and those do not have any interfacing on them. And that's because I wanted those sides to stay nice and pliable there and not be too boxy. But that is an option. If you want to go ahead and interface them, you can. So we're going to use the T method of construction for this. So you want to take that base panel and attach it to the base of the exterior. And then you take your side panels and position those on the opposite exterior panel, and go ahead and use 3/8 of an inch seam allowance and stitch those in place. And when I'm working with the Decoville light, I find it's very helpful to press all of those seams nice and flat. So I'm going to do that really quick. I just got one of those new pressing mats and I really am happy with this. Okay, so then you have a dual panel and a tri panel there. And so your dual panel sits on top of the tri panel, and that's actually the base. So that's what it would look like. And so you put them right sides facing and then stitch seam to seam. So that's different than end to end. I'm just stitching from this seam here to this seam here. So I'm leaving that 3/8 of an inch seam allowance open on each end. And then you should have something that looks like a fat T, and I'm going to go ahead and press that seam as well. And then I recently reordered the T method, so if you are just joining us after a little break there, the next step is to attach the base of the side to the side of the base. And so you just fold that over, and again, only stitching seam to seam. And repeat that for the other side. And then you have something that looks like a little stage. And so then you bring up that front panel there and stitch from the top to the seam to attach that side. And then repeat that for the opposite side. And then you're gonna turn that around, right sides out, and go ahead and turn that top edge inward 1/2 inch. You can press that, and then you're probably going to need to clip it as well. And just make sure that all your edges are nice and even. You're gonna wanna poke out these corners as well. And that's what that looks like there. This fabric is super cute. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the interior. You have the exact same number of actual body pieces, the 2 front and rear panels, the 2 side panels, and the 1 base. For the interior, I'm using a quilt weight cotton, no interfacing. And then I have 3 panels, which also measure 5 by 8, and I have pressed those in half long ways and then in half again, and stitched right across the top edge of those, and I'm going to use these little 3 dividers to create the card slips for the interior. And so that's what that looks like. And so you want to take one of your body panels and position one of those card slips 1 inch up from the base. Just like that. Then stitch across that raw edge at the bottom and down the center. And then position the second card divider 1/2 inch from that first one. Stitch across the raw edge and down the center. And then the remaining card slip aligns with the bottom edge of that interior panel. And all you have to do is stitch down the center. And then you have 6 card slips, and now we're going to use the exact same T method of construction. I'm going to attach the side panels to this panel with the card slips and the base panel to the opposite body panel that does not have anything on it. And then I'm going to position this double panel on top of that tri-folding panel and stitch seam to seam at the base there. And then I'm going to align the base of the side with the side of the base, stitching seam to seam. And then all I have to do is raise up this front panel and stitch from the top to the seam. And then for the interior, you're going to leave that wrong side out, and you're just going to take that top edge and fold it over about 1/2 inch there and give that a good press. That's what that looks like. And then you can fit this interior inside of the exterior. And I like the card cascade to go against that rear wall. So if you have a preference as to what is the front or the back of this, take that into consideration. And then when fitting the interior and the exterior, I line up those side seams first. The clips are wonderful for this purpose. And then I come around to the front and rear panels and align those. As long as your seam allowances were consistent, you should be good. And then I just reach inside and press that interior in there well. And that's what that looks like. And then the next step is to craft the flap, which is made from 2 pieces of material that are also 5 by 8 with a like-sized piece of quilt batting. And then I just folded that in half and gently angled the corners. That's totally optional. If you want to give that a little bit more of a sharp angle, you can do that as well. And then I layered the interior and the exterior fabric right sides facing. That batting is on the interior fabric. And then I'm just going to stitch all the way around that little U. And then you can trim up that excess going especially around that corner there. And then go ahead and turn this right sides out and give it a good press. And then top stitch all the way around those finished edges. And that's what the flap looks like. Then you're going to take the raw edges of this and insert it in between the interior and the exterior along that card wall. And I just tuck that in there just about an inch. The big thing is you just want to make sure that that flap is even and centered along the back there. Once you're happy with the positioning on that, then you're probably going to have to transition to pins. And I put one in each side, and then once I'm confident that that flap is straight, then I go ahead into the center and get one more just so nothing shifts. And then I like to fold that over and just make sure I'm happy with the positioning of everything. And this is super duper cute. And then the next step is to put this up on the machine deck and sew all the way around that perimeter. I generally start at the side on that back side so I can get that flap secure and reduce the risk of that shifting. And I'm just lining the edge of my foot up with the top edge of that fabric. Just go nice and slow and go all the way around. Okay, and now for the most part, the single wallet is done. The next step is to decide what kind of closure you'd like on this. You could do a press lock, you could do 2 snaps like I've done here. You could do a strip of Velcro. The choice is really yours. I'm going to go ahead and install 2 snaps. And then I want to show you a fun way to attach these so that you can have like a dueling compartment wallet. And I'm just using these Dritz larger snaps. They're perfect for this purpose. I think they call them heavy duty snaps. And I just install those with a little hammer. And for this one, because it has that wider flap, I am going to need to install one on each end of this. And so those prongs just poke right through. I like these snaps because you can install them after the project is already completed. And then I get the decorative part and the male and female parts, and then I fold that over and mark where the remaining prongs should go. And then that's what that looks like there. And then if you've crafted 2 of these, what you'll want to do is unsnap those flaps and then position the flaps right sides facing. Get everything aligned nice and even. So you want the tops of the actual individual compartments aligned and the flaps aligned like that. And then this part will remain open. This is a lot like the saddle bags if you made those with me, which I will link to those down in the notes. And then go ahead and run a row of stitching right across here to join the 2 flaps. And you want to come in right above this actual body panel there, and you're just stitching the flaps together. And voila, now you have dueling compartment wallets. Super functional, lots of space in this wallet, which is designed to be a travel wallet. Plenty of room in there for anything that you may need. Yay! Oh, it's so fun, so cute. And again, as mentioned, you could just have the individual wallet by itself. You don't have to create the dueling wallet. But I do like to have a little bit larger wallet, and sometimes I do like to toss my phone in there. You know, as of late, you need hand sanitizer and a mask as well. So I hope you enjoyed this project. I want to give you the finished measurements on this. It measures approximately 7.5 inches across the base, and then each little individual compartment is about 1 inch deep. So that gives you a good idea of how big it is. I'd love it if you join the masterclass, which kicks off on Thursday, and we can make the coordinating bag to go with your all aboard wallet. If not, I hope to see you next Tuesday for another inspired sewing project. Until then, as always, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. Have a beautiful week, everyone. Thank you so much for sewing with me.